Welcome to Periodical and Magazine Storage for the Confused. This is a tutorial on how you can store your own magazines and periodicals in your house. So the first thing you need obviously is a magazine holder. They are the best container for looking after magazines, and you'll see why in a minute. So you can buy some really nice ones that all match each other according to which magazine you want, or you can have them all matching your decor. And then you need to just gather your magazines. So have one holder for each type of magazine. This one is for the British Museum magazine, and so what the user is going to do is gather all their British Museum magazines and just chuck them in. They don't have to be in order just yet. Just chuck everything in and gather until you think you've gathered everything. Then what you do is you make a label. Mine are pretty makeshift, but just as an example, with your title obviously, and you fill in or you write in how the magazine is catalogued or categorised. So with the British Museum magazine, there's a number and a year. So I've written number and I'm leaving it blank. And a year, I'm assuming it's 2000, but I'm leaving it blank basically. And that will be the first edition that will be in this box, and this second line is going to be the last edition that will fit into this box. The thing is, we don't know exactly which numbers they'll be just yet. That's why it's important to not fill them in, but you can write in the structure of how it's categorised just to keep it organised. You can also make a stock take list for your magazines so that you can keep track of which ones you've got and which ones are missing. With the British Museum magazine, I'm assuming they get 4 volumes a year seasonally, and which years. So I've got a column for numbers and a column for the year, and you just write in or tick off which ones you've got and highlight the ones that you don't have, so that when they crop up, you know, you can mark them off, and then you know that you've got a full list or not, and you can write down any that are missing. Then when you know you've got a full box and it's all complete, then that's when you fill in this label properly, okay? The way you store your magazines is from left to right. So the oldest issue goes here, and then as you get each new issue, you slot them in here on the right. This is the right-hand side that I'm pointing to. I'm not sure how it's going to come up on the film. But each new issue you receive comes in on the right. And that way they're in chronological order, they're all neat, they're in order, there's nothing missing, or you can list it down if there is something missing, and it's done and dusted that way. Let me see. So when your folder gets full, you can write in the last line. Never write until most recent or until current, because there's no such thing as current, because there'll always be the next issue. So always leave the last line blank, always, always. Now, we are also managing Time Out magazines, and I've got another folder that I'm going to prepare for Time Out magazines. This is called Flute Focus at the moment, with all my music teachers magazines in it. And for Time Out, what the user wants to do is manage events, like to cut out events out of the timeouts and to clip out some articles and keep them, but not actually keep the issues. So I'm going to chuck out most of these. And let's say he's got a backlog of, say, 4 issues. And what I'll do is, firstly, I'm going to tape on a label anyway. So this is now Time Out, and they go by month and year. So August 2012 until, I don't know, September 2013 or whatever. And this is the Time Out stock take sheet. I've kind of prepared a fake one there. So it goes by month and year. So I assume you get 12 timeouts a year. They might be weekly, I'm not sure, but you can just fill in the month and the year and tick them off or cross them out, or write down that you've thrown them out, however you want to do it. But it'll help you keep stock of what you've read, what you've cut out, what you don't have, and just generally keep track of things and what's missing as well. So it's a good thing to use, and you could probably print up a good timetable on the table on the computer to manage it. So that would go in there, or you could stick it on the side like that and just write on the side with that stapled there or something. Now, the user wants to manage events, so I've made an events scrapbook. I've chosen a scrapbook so that you can write on it, and what I've done is I've clipped out some events that I'd like to attend, like things from art galleries, concerts, little trips I'd like to take to cute little places 2 hours out of town, and I've stuck them in. So when the art exhibition is finished or the concert's over and you've missed it or you've gone, you cross it out with just a line through the article, like that. Just put a line through it. That's gone, that concert's been, I went to that one. You cross it out. And when the whole page is crossed out, a line through the whole page says that you've finished the page. And then you can go on to the next one, because the user will create a whole scrapbook full of events, and it's hard to keep up with everything. So cross each one out with just a line, and then a line through the whole page says that you've finished that page, and you can go on and keep looking through your scrapbook that way. So that's the events scrapbook for timeout, and it goes in there. Now, articles, a little bit of a different kettle of fish here. So you can keep taping in articles. You may prefer to use a display folder, but you can strap in your articles however you like. So you can have 2 or 3 pages on the one page and flip them however you want, so you can keep them forever. And you can make an index so that you know which articles you got from where and how. So I would label the pages. I hope you can see this. Just numbering them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Just in the bottom corner or wherever you prefer. And then you write in your titles. So on page 1 we've got the index, so that doesn't matter. On page 2 we've got an Escape Winter article. So I'm going to write page 2, Escape Winter. You can't read my writing, I know. And what issue was that? I happen to know that was from Feb 12. All right. And then if we go to the next article, page 4 was called Annie's Shed. Page 4, Annie's Shed. Paid from January 13, for example. And that's how you can build up your scrapbook full of articles. They will keep nicely. They will be itemised automatically, and it doesn't take long to do, and it doesn't build up if you just keep on top of it. As you clip them out, stick them in and write in the index that way. And that way you can store your timeouts with your 2 working volumes of the bits and pieces that the user wants out of them. For storage of these, you really do need to face your magazine holders with the spines out so that you can see them. Otherwise, if you turn them around this way, how often are you going to use them if you see them on the shelves, even with a label? Not really. They're not very usable like that. Even though they, feng shui wise, they cut out the noise, it doesn't work. The magazines don't get used. So you need to keep them facing out this way. The labels tell you what's there, and choosing an accessible space to keep these. For the timeout, I'm suggesting to keep in an accessible place, such as at the top of the stairs or in the kitchen, where it's within quick and easy reach, just like the knives and forks, really, or cups. For the British Museum magazine, I suggest in the office, on the shelf near the computer, or at the shelf at the back, or in the lounge. And that is my little suggestion for managing periodicals and magazines within your collection. Yay!